come back from my first kind of content event. I don't know if you class it as an influencer event, but content event. It was hosted at my local food hall, so Norfolk Food Hall, with the Norfolk Edit. So it's the Norfolk Edit, and then Norfolk Food Hall was the venue. It's really nice, couple of hours, and lots of local businesses, so not just food and drink ones. The kind of photographers, things like photographers. There was a girl, I picked up some business cards. So 78, she's an art studio, so she did or had like tote bags that you could decorate yourself while you were there. She does like tablescapes for parties and bits like that, so she was really nice. I did make a little bag. I used a stencil, so I was potentially thinking about putting initial on, and then I thought I'd keep it nice and simple as just some roses, and then had a little freebie. That was the first thing I did. Didn't actually film that, a bit nervous to start with, but yeah, there were so many people there with cameras, and actually quite a lot of dogs. There's one lady, she had 3 dogs. Quite surprised no one fell over them. But yeah, it was a lovely evening. Obviously had kind of freebies, food, drinks. Then Mark, the person who created Norfolk Hall, got it up and running. He did a little speech, and then the girls from the Norfolk Edit did a speech as well. And as well as obviously kind of vendors and then being able to chat to them, the actual food hall itself was open, and there was a discount for attendees for that night only, so did make some purchases. One of the things is already in the freezer, and then they had little goodie bags as well. I've not really looked in here yet, so I thought we'd open it together. To start with, everyone kind of gathered outside, then we kind of got open through to the garden room, and then there were some vendors there. They then went through to the restaurant area, and then obviously through to the Norfolk Food Hall. I started with the tote bag. I then went back to the Norfolk Sweet Jar. They had a wheel of fortune, you might want to call it as, that you could spin, and you could either win a prize or a boo-boo prize. I don't know what the boo-boo prize was, because I won one of their small sweet bags. So they had a nice little cart with the various things that they sell on there, all different types, I should say, not everything, but different types of the small bags, the bigger bags on there. So I picked the kind of Razzies as my little small bag, so we'll be enjoying those. I then, probably next thing I did, I went and tried some cocktails out from, God, hopefully I pronounce this right, if not I'll put it on the screen, No Cruda. They're a non-alcoholic cocktail, so it's quite useful because I drove tonight, and they were doing little testers. They've got 2 in their range, and then once you kind of picked your favourite, they would then make up a full glass for you. So I went for the passion fruit martini, and then the margarita was the other one. Then they kind of did the speechy bits, so they pulled everyone back to the garden room, and then kind of continued to wander through. So there was things from preserves to Succeed, which is like a nutrient seed kind of brand. There were coffee company, so who does beans, and they're just on the Cure that's only came out I think yesterday, I think she was saying. There was artists there. There was another Euroflora, which is another alcohol free brand that were really quite interesting flavours. So the background for them is it's 2 friends. They both have had breast cancer, so they were looking for kind of healthier alternatives, and obviously kind of drinking less, so they're more kind of like herbal drinks, and they've got 3 different ones. So Energize, I can't even remember at all. There was 3 different types. There was Energize, Revitalize, I can't remember what the third one is. My favourite was the one they kind of said potentially more at the end of the day for kind of calming down, which was chamomile, lavender, mint, I believe the 3 in there. Next then was a cookie stall, and then there was a bun, a lady. So she literally went to the Norfolk Hall yesterday, kind of took samples. They're going to be stocking her from next week. And because she kind of turned up yesterday, they invited her to the event. So apparently she had been up baking kind of all night, all day for the event. She was giving away freebies. Oh, it hasn't smushed too much. I went for the raspberry kind of cinnamon bun. So I'm trying to decide if I eat that tonight or not, or if I keep it for the morning. So yeah, it looks really spongy, and actually she had these. She had a savoury, like pizza, kind of almost looked like a cookie style, so it was a round, and then she had a couple of cookies as well. She was bun break, so that was her. So I've done 78, done Norfolk Edit. So the other card, oh there you go, there's you Flora. So they were the drinks brand that we're trying to go more natural alternatives. Wandered through, and there was the garden pantry, I think is what they're called. Yep, garden pantry. So I bought a couple of their jams. So I went for a lime, honey, rum, marmalade. Might be a bit of theme with the jams that I went for. And then obviously had to go for my favourite liqueur, so raspberry and amaretto one. So they were 2 of the things that I bought. Then went to Succeed, tried a little sample of that. That she had a dairy-free kind of yogurt. So there's a coconut one, which I think I've just not had yogurt for such a long time. And I'm not a huge fan of coconut. It wasn't as coconutty tasting as I thought it was going to be as a base. And then she had one with normal, like a dairy yogurt, which I couldn't have. So it was really interesting listening to her wanting, or kind of it came about from wanting to increase up, or have an easy way to increase kind of gut health naturally. Again, she had 3 or 4 different types that kind of had different focus on different things. But apparently like a teaspoon of one of the bags would be like half the amount of the different types of seeds and nuts and bits. I think it's like 38 in a week, 38 different things you're supposed to have in a week. That would be covered just in 1 teaspoon. So you're halfway there potentially just with that. Had a good chat with the butcher actually. I've been previously and asked the question, but they haven't been open long, about taking my metal lunch boxes with me to the butcher counter there. And the guy who I asked, it was like his first day, so he didn't really know the answer. And then I've kind of just been too shy to ask since. So I thought I'd take tonight as a great opportunity. Had a good chat with the butcher. He actually said with their kind of main butchers, there is about 4 people he could think of that would kind of routinely bring their own containers. So he was more than happy for that to be a process, and I kind of pointed out Plastic Free July, and it might be a nice way to kind of highlight it if people aren't aware that they can do that. So next time I go shop, I can take my containers, which I'll be very excited for there. Had a chat with a kind of rub guy who was around near the butcher's bits as well. I got a free little sample from him. So backyard pit rubs. It's a chicken one. They were giving us a little sample. So you need to have barbecue to try that out. And he was saying actually this is the one I think that's been sent off for potentially like a food award prize. So it'll be interesting to see that. And then got a couple like little recipe, and then obviously cards with all their socials on as well. And then kind of from there I kind of went shopping, which probably was a bad idea because I then came back and had an ice cream at the end, so my pizza was sitting for a little bit. I say ice cream, it was a sorbet that I had, sat outside of the bench with that. And it was really nice. Because there were some people who'd gone obviously with a kind of +1 as a cameraman. So it was quite nice to just have a bit of a chat with a few people. I think I probably spoke to some of the vendors more than other creators there. There were some people who obviously knew each other from previous events or from work and bits like that. But it felt really relaxed, really calm, and kind of, I guess, not too bad for a first event, which is really good. They also had like a kind of bit of a, could share details for them to potentially kind of connect more or help link people for like collaborations or events. So who knows what will come from that. And then they had as well, kind of near the entrance bit, they had 2 boards. So one was for kind of like creators, so you could kind of sign your Instagram handle for there, and then the other one was Norfolk businesses that we love, so you could write on local businesses as well to kind of highlight and share, and then they've obviously got that they can use for reaching out or kind of showcasing people through their socials as well. So that was kind of what the event was like. I was probably there just under 2 hours. It was supposed to be only about 2 hours anyway, but there were people obviously slowly lingering and bits like that. So let's go through my shopping first, and then we'll go through the goodie bag. So I got a brick pizza. I got one of their kind of pepperoni ones, so that is already in the freezer. I then did buy, obviously, my jars of jam, which obviously will be used for baking. The amaretto jam, I kind of feel like I want to do like a tart maybe with that. With the lime and honey rum marmalade, not quite sure. I've already got an idea for a marmalade cake with another marmalade that I've got, so I don't know, do I go that route? I'm not sure. Any suggestions, let me know down in the comments. I then bought something else exciting, but this was really nice, which is why I picked it up again, and it's not in plastic, which is kind of why I like it. So it's the Norfolk Sauce Company. It's a hoisin stir fry sauce, but obviously a lot of stir fry sauces in supermarkets are in little plastic packets. So actually really enjoyed discovering them one of the last times I went shopping there. Generally, I don't know, I would say this does kind of 4 stir fries, so 2 lots of 2 for us, and it stores and keeps for like 6 weeks when you open it, so good company to check out. They've got always also got things like the sweet chili sauce as well that they do. Picked up some loose, I didn't have my bags with me, picked up some loose limes and lemons for recipes that I've got coming up, so I can do those. And then the last 2 bits of presents, so I might show you them, I don't think they'll be watching this. So me and my sister went to a foodie festival locally a couple of years ago, and one of the kind of drinks events that we went to was for kind of local wines, and I think this was one of the ones they tested, and it was out later that year, but my sister really liked it. So it's from Flint Vineyard, and it's their Charmant Rosé. I think that's how you pronounce stuff. You can tell I don't necessarily do lots of wines for drinking, but my sister really liked it. Obviously with the discount, made it a little bit nicer on the pocket, on the purse strings. So I bought that. Her birthday is soon, so I'll probably give her that with what I'm hoping to pick her up something for when I'm away. So this will go with that. And then the other thing that I bought, this is actually one of the store holders, and she had one open, is the coffee map. So it's obviously local to me in kind of Norwich and Norfolk, and it's literally this really beautiful, if I open it the right way to show you, really beautiful map and it's got loads of different local kind of coffee places to check out. And then you can like rate them at the bottom, so there's all these different kind of squares with all the coffee places in, so you can kind of make a bit of a comment or a little reminder from when you went. It's got a key, so it shows if it's like sweet, savoury, if it's open early, open late, dog friendly, and it's got like facts around the area as well, and it's kind of like a colouring map as well. So they kind of had suggestions that it could be like a date map or like a solo date kind of thing, and I thought it would just be really, really nice. So there's even more on that side, and then that's obviously local to the city, and on the other side they've then got kind of the wider area of Norfolk as well. So number one is obviously the Norfolk Food Hall, and then they've got a few other little ones that even go right up to North Norfolk. So this is going to be a present for someone who quite likes their coffee, and I thought it'd be a nice thing that they can do kind of together. Plus they like doodling and drawing, so I thought the colouring bit they might like as well. So it says it's a first edition, so I don't know if she'll do more with them, and there are a few spare boxes where people can kind of write in and add in their own locations, and I thought it was really, really nice, and something quite unusual as a present. So that was the last thing that I bought. So you kind of put in a little extra paper bag, just try and protect it from the kind of coldness of my pizza. So that was shopping. So this is the goodie bag. So it's got the little Norfolk headed kind of sticker on. So we have got, oh my god, well they might have all been the same flavour in all the bags, but if not, I definitely picked a good one for me. So they're crisps, and they are duck and hoisin crisps. One of my, in hometown, one of my favourite bakeries, they do a really good roast duck sandwich, and actually I tried it in a bow bun the other week. Oh, so good. So clearly I like hoisin. So these will be really interesting to try. I've seen them in the shop, but I've not kind of picked them for slightly because it's single plastic. I'm just trying to see store light. Doesn't say if it's recyclable or not. I'll probably put it in my bag that I have for like supermarket recycling bits, which is kind of like packets like this. But yeah, so that's first thing. So got a little business card for face painting. So there was a face painter girl there. So the edit girls had obviously done beforehand, but you could get that on if you wanted. Bronzed Blooms. Oh, Norfolk Grain Flowers by Louisa. So again, sustainable natural blooms grow in harmony on the northeast Norfolk coast. Gift bouquets, weddings, pick your own, Simply Flowers, DIY flower buckets, workshops. So it's good to have a look up online. Me and my sister and my mum like going to a local pick your own field in Southwold. So we've done a few workshops there, so that could be another one to try out. Got Ollie and Millie's 10% off your first order. So that looks like it is personalised clothing, children's clothing, workwear, birthday clothing, occasional wear. Maybe not something I'd particularly feel like I have a need for at the moment, but you can check them out. Got Broadland Radio. So there's that. Oh, Flint Vineyard. I was like, please don't say that was a discount. So yeah, so that's where this wine's from. It's actually local. I think they do like tours and stuff. Not that we've actually ever, well, I've not been, and actually I think it's fairly local to my hometown. Does it say on there? No, but I think this is one of the one of the closest ones to us. Oh, something else from the Norfolk Sweet Kitchen. So this is a bit more of a pick and mix. So that is plastic. So this is plastic, but they do have like clip jars. So they do like bigger ones, which they actually had in the main shopping haul that you can get. So they do some like plastic free options. There's some more sweeties. Oh, Garden Pantry is probably some of the ones from the stands that were there. So this is where my jars of jam are from. So all products are gluten-free and free from anything artificial. Home-winning products, handmade using homegrown, locally sourced ingredients. Artisan jams, chutneys and sauces. So they had, they've got a rice pudding recipe in there and a marmalade loaf cake. So pictures, so the marmalade they've used within that is the rhubarb lime and mint marmalade that they do. So that could be potentially nice. I could swap that out for the other marmalade perhaps. And they also do some catering as well for events. And they offer monthly subscription, 3, 6 or 12 months subscription tasting clubs, which are available from their website. One of the other jams which I was debating, two, there was toffee apple, which I have a toffee apple jelly that I used in one of my popped up recipes. But they also had a blackberry and Norfolk lavender jam. And I asked if it was Norfolk lavender that they used. There's a place in Norfolk called Norfolk Lavender. They grow obviously lots of lavender. But they said actually it was lavender that they grow themselves, that they use. So obviously still within Norfolk, but not what I would think of if you said Norfolk lavender, which was really good to see. We got another business card, balloon bubbles. So they had a kind of balloon arch. So that was obviously probably who did that. Oh, another Norfolk edit card in there as well. Brims and bubbles. Oh, so this is one of the events they're doing, but I think I'm away for it. So for the girl who was doing the little tote bag, she had bags like this, but also like zip ones. She did have some wording ones that was possibly why it took me so long to think about. Is there was one that was like something like passionately taking pictures of my food, or just taking pictures of my food again, which I thought would have been really good, but I couldn't figure out how to try and get the wording across as a bit of a template because there wasn't any like greaseproof paper to like transfer it. So I went the easy route and went for a stencil instead because my handwriting isn't that neat. This is something she actually mentioned while I was doing that they're doing a brims and bubbles at night. So she has like cowboy hats that you can craft and kind of personalise. So I think that's what that event will be. But it looks like they're going to be doing drinks on arrival, food, obviously hat crafting, western styling and open bar. So potentially would have been quite fun if I wasn't away. A few more things. No idea what it is. Some sort of car hire? Road drifters? No idea what that one is. Oh, it's vans. It's rentals for camper vans. Well, might come in useful how things are currently going. Coffee map. So little flyer for what I bought. A few more things. Okay. Ooh, got a sticker. Explore and enjoy the coffee map. So she had, I think they were stickers. I don't think those stickers, they looked maybe more like a magnet maybe. On her little stall with the map. She had one obviously open. She also does stickers that she designs and pins as well. Oh, this looks like another maybe foodie one. So this is Succeed. So this is what I was chatting about earlier. She was one of the stalls. So this is the energy one. And it's essentially like a seed, 6 seeds and botanic herbs. So this one has sunflower seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, chai seeds, poppy seeds, quinoa, nettle leaf powder, organic mecha root powder, hornborn berry powder, Korean panax ginseng. 77% of total ingredients certified organic. So sprinkle onto smoothies, yogurts, porridge. She didn't mention soups, and I always think of these as like small sweet things, but actually seeds make sense that you can put on bread. Need to master my bread first, then I could potentially sprinkle that onto my bread. What we got? Oh, Norfolk-based artist Philippa Westbury. She must have been the lady who had all the pictures there. And say I probably, even though I grew up around this area, I feel like some of the places I pronounce are probably incorrect. So this is Hapsborough House. I'm going to butcher that. I'm from the local area. So a nice little picture. So that'd be really cute actually to frame. 2 more things. One is Norfolk Food Hall. Oh, a free hot drink available from the restaurant or the deli. Need to pop that in my purse. And what is the last thing? Oh, so a little freebie from the garden pantry. Jalapeno dipping sauce. I wonder if that's going to be too hot for me, because I'm not really a chili person. We will see. If not, I definitely know who I can donate. Who I can donate that to as a gift. So that was my goodie bag. Hope this was of interest to you. Hopefully I'll get to go to a few more of events like this, socialise hopefully a bit more, maybe make some more contacts, and yeah,